Sherry, can you hear us? Okay.
Okay.
Sherry, can you hear us? We're testing our sound. Testing, testing, testing.
People.
All right, well, good evening. Welcome to our regular board meeting. We'd like to thank everybody for joining us. First thing we'll do is call the meeting to order officially. Have our land acknowledgement, and we're mixing it up. Today's land acknowledgement for this month will be read by our student advisor, Nathan Nichols.
We honor the first peoples of these lands by acknowledging that the area in which we gather is within the traditional territory of the Stillaguamish tribe of Indians. The Stillaguamish people have inhabited these lands and waters since time immemorial, and their ancestors have remained in this territory to this day. The Stillaguamish people have continued to practice the traditional ways of their ancestors of fishing, hunting, and gathering. The Stillaguamish tribes have had these lands and cultural traditions passed on to them by their ancestors, who believed that everything had a spirit and that they are the caretakers of these lands and waters.
And next we'll have our pledge of allegiance led by Deja Reed.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very much to our student advisors for helping us get this meeting started. Next up, we'll have our roll call attendance. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond.
Here.
Director Kelly.
Here.
Director Watts.
Here,
President Levesque. Here. Director Knapp. Here. Student Advisor Nichols.
Here.
Student Advisor Reed. Here. Superintendent Sweden. Here. Thank you. Next up, we'll have our approval of the agenda. Is there any changes that anyone would like to make to the agenda? Or do we have a motion to approve it as presented?
Motion to approve agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Been moved by Director Diamond and seconded by Director Watts to approve the agenda as presented. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts.
aye.
President Levesque. Aye. Director Knapp.
Aye.
Thank you. The agenda is approved. Next up is our presentation portion of our meeting, and we're going to have our introduction of our new staff members, and we'd like to welcome to the podium Eric DeYoung, our Executive Director of Human Resources.
Yes, good evening and welcome to the first meeting in September after school started. And we have a lot of new staff to introduce. And I know some of you were at the district day and you got to meet these staff as well. And so there are 40 on this list at this time. There may have been a couple additions since the district day. And there may have been a couple additions since I finalized this presentation. So we're close to everybody here. So we'll just go through and let you see some faces. So Arlington High School has 3. There's our ECAP, I have 2 at ECAP. It's interesting, some of our programs have a lot more than others. A lot are like this, 2 or 3 in each school, Eagle Creek. 2 teachers there. Howler, so a teacher, and then a student support advocate who was also at other schools post in SDLC. Camp Prairie, 2 teachers and 2 paraeducators. Pioneer. We have Sue Cross. I don't believe Sue Cross is coming up, but she's our new assistant principal there, as well as a new counselor and a 3rd grade teacher. Who used to be a custodian for us.
And graduate from high school.
And graduated. There you go.
These two many of them.
President's Elementary, Presidents gets the award this year. They have the most. There's gonna be 15 new staff, I believe, at President's. So here's 3 paraeducators. These are all teachers. So 6 new teachers at President's. And then we have some more classified staff. So paraeducators, secretary, custodians, all at President's. So they get the award this year for the most new staff by a long ways. Our special programs, these are staff that work across the district, not one school, but in different areas. So we're excited to have them with us. SVLC also, for the size of their school, probably gets the record for the highest percentage of turnover this year. So they have 5 new staff there. And those are all teachers. And Weston brings up the rear. So welcome to our new staff.
Thank you, Eric. It's fun to welcome our new new friends. Welcome to the family. Next up would be our public comment portion of our meeting. No, I almost skipped something. Thank you, Debbie. The approval of our minutes. We have one set of minutes from August 26th. Do we have any changes anyone would like to make to the minutes or a motion to approve as presented?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from August 26th.
Second,
It's been moved by Director Neff and seconded by Director Diamond to approve the August 26th meeting minutes. Madam Clerk, Director Diamond,
yes.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Watt,
Aye.
President Levesque. Yes. Director Neff.
Yes.
Those meeting minutes are approved. Thank you. Next up would be our public comment portion. Do we have anyone in the audience that would like to speak? Or anyone signed up online or on Zoom? Moving right along to our consent agenda, which includes a lot of different things. Is there anything anyone would like to pull from our consent agenda for further discussion? Or motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Motion to approve consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Director Diamond and seconded by Director Knapp to approve the consent agenda as presented. Director Diamond,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Watts,
Aye.
President Levesque. Aye. Director Knapp.
Aye.
Thank you. The consent agenda is approved. Next up is our new business portion of our meeting, and that includes our UDL Best Teaching Practices Wave Generator Project presentation. I'd like to welcome Carrie Henderson-Burke, our Executive Director of Teaching and Learning. And
we have the famous Andrea O'Keefe, who is a math teacher at Arlington High School. How many years have you been in the district?
I don't know.
One
Long time.
Mary, you said welcome to the family. Andrea's been a
Part of the
long-term
family.
member of our family, and it's really exciting. She's a tremendous math leader, a tremendous mathematician, a tremendous teacher and instructor. And last spring, she engaged in a project with one of her classes. She'll fill you in on the details, but it was a really terrific example of the lengths that a teacher will go to ensure that her students are understanding the concept. And so we have a video to show you, but I think first you're going to set the stage a little
Yeah.
bit with what the learning was going to be focused on. So
Thank you. So last year I was teaching the third year math option, and it was called Modeling Our World with Mathematics. There are students in that class. It's kind of like, I want my third year math option so I can graduate. But it's also, the title of it is Modeling Our World with Math. So it's very hands-on. It's very looking at different things in the world. We start with environmental sciences and go through those and pick up the geometry and the algebra. And this was toward the end of the year. It was in the arts. And we were studying our trig ratios, sine, cosine, and tangent. I also had, I think, about 4 students between the two classes that wanted to go to Algebra 2. So I wanted students to say, see, you can do this. The ones that are kind of, what I call math damaged and don't have confidence in themselves. But I also wanted to be able to push this for the students that wanted to go to the Algebra 2. So I wanted to make sure that they were prepared. So we started with a Ferris wheel, and we talked about George Ferris is the one that gives a little history on it. And says that it has a radius of 25. So as we talk about where those points are, so we're just getting an idea with the Ferris wheel, how far above the ground they are. And so it's 30 feet, how long it takes for them to go around, how much each turn is. So we started with this one and looking at, getting an idea, getting to that unit circle. So the next day, right to the next slide. The next day, we are working on the unit circle because it has a radius of 1. And that's why I call it a unit circle. We've been talking about sine of theta, which is our vertex angle there. And we'd also talked about terminal angles and all of this with it. So this was kind of like the wrap up of it. And so they went through and they put in the angles from 0 to 360 by 30s. And then they noticed that the hypotenuse is 1. So if you don't remember, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So if the hypotenuse is being 1, all they have to do is take the sine of the reference angle in there. And they could use their calculators and stuff, but they pretty much, after doing the Ferris wheel, they knew they had a pattern and they knew how to put that pattern in. But we hadn't unwrapped it. And so unwrapping it means taking it from the unit circle and then putting it on a graph. So we went through and we put it on the graph. We go, okay, we can see that. And it looks just like what they were doing. And then we get to the wave machine. So I was a little reluctant because I was a little nervous about doing it, but I had 2 periods. So I had a second period and a 5th period. And what you're going to see is 5th period. And it's, well, let's just go ahead and put it on. We'll kind of go through it as we talk. So we've, all right. Yeah, go ahead and start. We can start it. So what we found in the other class is if we taped this and then put the duct tape right beside it, we were able to mark off with that black marker, right, every 5 centimeters. We can have people start to put the dots on the ends. And I've got more skewers somewhere. Further. Right about there.
We want to keep it tight though.
It's all right. We can tighten it as we go. We figured this out. Just don't tear it off.
This is centimeters? Just leave it.
Just leave it. I want you to look at some, and we tried to fix it here. But I think what the problem is, take a look at this one. So why is that causing that to tip like that? It's uneven. These need to be, they need to be
Perfect, like symmetrical.
a little bit better like that. When you guys lay the skewers out, you want to make sure that it's down the middle, right? And then I think another mistake that we made, I can see this tape is not right where it should be. Maybe we should try it without putting the tape on the top and see what happens. And then if we decide we want the tape on the top, we can always take it off of here and we can lay it down and put tape on top if we want. So if they've got the marks, you guys can start coming over and laying the skewers where they've got the marks. And remember, we want to try to have it right in the middle so that it's even on both sides.
I feel like it's way off and that's why.
You want to measure it? There's the ruler right there. Growth mindset. You can get better, okay? Writing for me is painful, but I do it to get better. So let's have, before we tape it, let's have these 2 guys pick it up, and we need some people in the middle maybe. Let's see. Go ahead and pick it up. You guys pick it up.
Pick it up in the.
Pick it up. It's got to be tight. It's got to be tight. Got to be tight.
Tighter.
We don't want what they have.
Yeah, we're gonna pull
Okay.
in and still run to.
That's about as tight as we're going to get it.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think? Pretty close? Just a little bit here?
It's on the right side. I like it though. It's better.
So if this is tipping down,
When you push the weight.
shall we push these ones this way? A
Just like all these middle ones, push them like a, I don't know, like
little bit this way?
Till it's,
a smidge.
Yeah, it is.
Just basically till it comes up the top. A little bit of smidge.
okay, wait, I think that,
Over here,
Okay, hold
yes.
on, wait. Let's look at it again. Make sure the tip is sticking out.
Oh,
Jacob.
That made it better. Those ones and that.
some more?
So basically just push the little stick out the top of the pack. And that should change it. I'm really hungry. There's a bowl of nuts. All those ones are way far out. No. Marcus, it's those green and orange ones right next to it. Leave it. It's shaking.
I think it's just awesome.
It's just, yeah.
I have to do that.
No, yeah, it's those orange and green ones right next to you, Marcus.
It
Those
worked.
ones up there are way far off. Jacob.
Here's the problem.
There's like a red one up there that's way in. Oh, that's good enough.
Okay, I need you four over here.
Pay attention. Come over here.
You need to be part of this. Okay. You think it looks good?
Yeah. David's right in the middle.
Okay.
Way better than secretary.
Give it a, one of you guys, make it go.
Okay, it's a little slow, but
You gotta give us more power.
Higher.
can we do like multiple? Maybe
It looks like a wave.
What else do you think we should do?
I think we should move a middle one.
The other side. We didn't get quite.
So let's give a little bit to it. What if we pick it up higher?
Yeah. That's better.
that's better.
Yeah, we're a lot.
That works better.
Very cool.
So, it's, you know, these kids need the hands-on, they need to see this because, you know, as much hands-on as we can get for them, because real life is like this, not just sitting in the classroom, just doing a bunch of worksheets, so. Questions?
This is great. Did you come up with that idea?
No.
No, okay.
No, this, so in the, this curriculum was from OSPI.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, it wasn't very good curriculum because I had to make all the notes, so they had, it was online, but you know, you can't teach the kids taking those notes because these are not kids that take really good notes. So I was, you know, taking the notes they had, putting them, screenshotting it and putting on there so they could take the notes. And so this one says, look up the wave machine. So we looked at it the day before and see what we were gonna do. So they kind of knew what we were doing with it. And they understood, you know, how it worked and stuff. And then, you know, like the one kid said, oh, there's the wave. So I wish I would have had more time with them to keep going a little bit more, but we're kind of running at the end of the year. So this was kind of our big hoorah at the end of the year.
I think it takes a lot of bravery to even attempt that, and, but also it's really wonderful for the visual learning.
Yes, thank you.
That's
You
great.
can ask Nathan. I go ahead and do it because if I fail, I fail.
Right.
And the kids can see, okay, well, it didn't work, and here's the growth mindset of, okay, it didn't work, how do we fix it? And, you know, just putting it out there. And, you know, I'm trying to help other teachers say, it's okay. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to tell the kids, oops, this didn't work, how do we fix it? So when they were looking, you didn't get Gary didn't get the second periods over there, but that was kind of nice to have theirs to look at and for the students to go, okay, let's look and see what they did and how we can improve upon it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And beautiful. Thank you for
Thanks.
sharing.
So can we have a quick UDL quick?
Yes, please do.
So Universal Design for Learning is removing barriers for kids and for learners so they can access their learning. And it's done through intentional planning. What steps did Andrea take to intentionally plan to remove learning barriers for kids through this lesson?
Making
I don't know.
it accessible to both high learners and struggling learners.
Yeah.
Three-dimensional.
Accessible for the students, you know, as I call math damaged. Well, as the ones that want to go on to that algebra 2 and give them that push too. I think the group was a little big because I had some of them off doing things, different
She had
things.
like 20 adults in there too, because we were all checking it out, so
Seeing what.
living distractions.
Yeah, I'll have to say that UDL is hard for us sometimes to go, how do we do this? How do we pull this out and, you know, give the kids their voice and where they want to go with it. I'll be honest with you, I'm really uncomfortable with it, but there's more things. And so if we just keep trying and jump in and try stuff, you know, Dan Boyd and I did something with a vocab. And so we said, okay, let's try this vocab and it's geometry. So we have geometry is loaded with vocabulary. So we had a thing where we had a vocab. I want to ask the kids, okay, in your groups, you know, what's the definition and what's the diagram and stuff that went with it. You can do it on paper if you want. You can do it digitally. This is what they did. did it digitally, cut and paste, boom, boom, we're done. Well, did they learn anything? No. So I talked to Dan, said, oh, you guys are very good at, they're very good at that. They're very good at, using the technology. So I talked with Dan, I said, this didn't work. And he said, oh, so what he said is, I'm gonna call on different people and Gripson, you better be ready for whichever one I call on. They were more prepared. So it helps when you have a colleague to be able to bounce that off of and not be afraid to say, hey, we can do better, and then help each other to do better with it.
Thank you.
Thank you for modeling
Right.
the growth mindset.
Thank you.
Always good. And thank you for all the years that you've been here helping with math. You had one of my kids a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
In middle school at Post,
Yeah,
my oldest, I think, maybe my two oldest. I don't
I
remember.
don't know, I know I've had at least one of them. I had
And that was like
Nathan.
2000.
long time
6.
ago. How long have I been here? Let's see, I have to
Long
think how
time.
old my kids are. I was at Lake Stevens first and then came here, so, and I've really enjoyed it here because I know, post middle school, we're tight. And we've got each other's backs. And, same thing at the high school, if we all help each other, we're a team and we can depend on each other, and we're starting to talk about being able to go and observe other people's classes, and so we're talking about, being safe with that and how we do that, because I want to see what other teachers, not just the math teachers, are doing. I'd like to see what other teachers are doing with that. So we're talking about trying to do that this year.
That's great. That's good collaboration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
And thanks for coming out on a school night to share.
The fourth school.
Sorry. It's nice to see kids interacting with each other and learning and doing hands-on. And yes. Thank you for bringing that to us, Carrie. We appreciate that. Next up is our opening schools 2024-25 report. Dr. Sweet's going to share.
So the PowerPoint will be somewhat colorful because we have this emphasis on tapestry and the colors together and how we are blending all of our collective talents and energy to make big things happen. Of the emphasis this year for 24-25 remains to be belong and learn, but with the all belong and learn in APS. So our emphasis buttons that you might be seeing on our lanyards and all around, it's to reinforce that belief and commitment to having a place where all people, staff and students and families belong and can learn. This next slide takes a minute to, this is just a reminder of the beautiful tapestries that are outside in the hallway. And that launching a new school year does require the blending of a tapestry of intentional efforts. And even though when you first start with pieces of fabric that they're just in a pile, when you're trying to figure out how to put it together to create a story or a pattern that means something, and you end up with something beautiful like that, that's what we do every day. And when we open school, it's the same. In this opening schools debrief, I'm going to talk about the preparing and planning and the opening of schools, which requires training and professional development. It requires connecting with families and community organizations. It requires hiring staff. It requires getting the buildings ready, cleaning them, and doing construction and capital projects and maintenance and opening the schools. The first part of that is the training and professional development. And this is just a snapshot. Every place across the district, there's been trainings that have really been in the first part of August begins, the focus. We had our cabinet and expanded cabinet workshops at the beginning of August, then moved into our district leaders had their workshop for 2 days. The second week in August, we had our new staff that were hired orientations. We had our school board workshop, and then different departments had their trainings. We had the district kickoff and building days and more. There's a picture of the district day where the DLT group were together and learning. It happens to be at Eric Dan's home, and so we've had that. We're able to use facility there. That was awesome, and we had great learning that took place. Next slide is the school board, where we got together upstairs and we engaged in good learning, and we went through a self-assessment, as you know, to develop our goals. Important, and we also engaged in the tapestry efforts. The next is just a variety, a few pictures of the trainings that have went on across the district. I was able to go up and see food nutrition. They were training up at the Commons up at the high school. And then I didn't make it to Western, but Andrea had sent that picture. So all buildings, have opportunities for their staff. I did make it to the bottom one, which says support services, Olympics and training, and I did earn a couple of medals. They had some Olympics going on, and that was incredible. So we had some relays going on, and it was very interesting, but well worth the time. And then during district day, which is a kickoff for all staff in the district, we had the Stillaguamish tribal members welcome us, all staff. And during the district day, we had the amazing Arlington High School band. They gave us a cause to celebrate. And if you remember, the last song that they sang was Celebrate. So that's why I said that, because that was a great song to end with. And then during the district day, we had our brave students who gave us information to consider. And that was well worth that time. Thank you, Deja and Nathan, for participating in that. And during district day, all staff smiled for the picture. So kind of hard, there's a lot of people there. We always have to crunch together, and the drone does as best it can to get us most everybody in. The next aspect is connecting with students and families. So we had resource fairs, community resource fairs, and we had back to school events. The Volunteers of America, they had the resource fair right over here at President's, and the picture in the middle there is a kid's closet. So they had their staff there. We had a table there as district. Gary and Janelle, his wife, and myself. And the picture on the left is Gary had a remote control bus. So that was a hit with the kids that they could, control the bus. A couple of them, yeah, I wouldn't hire them as bus drivers. They're kind of wild with it. And then the Stillaguamish Resource Fair, Family Fair, that was great too. They down the very lower in the middle, that's Ray Rahim, and I don't know the other two, but they're doing a drum, welcome, a drum or song for that day. The next one is just some pictures from back to schools. These are from a variety of schools. The picture up on the right says about cell phone free zone during school hours. That's at Post. So they have this big sign right there. And this shows lots of action. They have on the upper left, that's a bus out front of Eagle Creek, because they let the kids get a feel for the bus, those that have never been on the bus. So they have a bus there that they could go in and out of. The next part is hiring our new staff, and you've seen them and heard from them, but I just have a picture. So we have this picture. These are new classified staff. We have our new certificated staff. We have our one administrator, I love her, Sue Krause. She was, I was out there, and this was coming back from helping special ed the buses that were coming in to drop off students. She's very excited. I told her I was going to tell you all that she is glad to be home. That's what she said. And then the next section is on our summer projects. So this last summer, I'm Brian Lewis, Executive Director of Operations, been busy, and Ed Ellsworth are busy, and the team, the crews, maintenance, custodians, and grounds. They put it, and the people, the contractors that we had hired, Pioneer, new roof, new paint, 2 portables at SBLC were re-roofed, 2 kitchen floors replaced, one at Pioneer, one at Eagle Creek, network upgrades across the district, and traffic painting. So I'll show you a couple of that. Here is a picture of Pioneer, and a couple of different views, back of it, side of it. This next one is a before and after. That looks great. The change. Yeah, looks Very good. And the next one, I like this picture. It's hard to see it, but see those white lines in the center? Those were painted intentionally to try to tell people to help the traffic flow into Arlington High School. We probably need to do some more signage there because people are still stopping right there. We don't want them to block that area, that painting at Arlington High School. We're moving into the first week. So that first week we had, this is a bus that was headed towards President's, and I was able to jump on that bus, and Mayor Manning jumped on too, and Chief Ventura jumped on too, and we all had fun on the bus, and Gary Sable, he also had fun there taking pictures of the kids and everything, and they're all set to go. This is at one of the stops. I don't know exactly where it was, but now this is just a gallery of pictures of parents and their kids. It says everyone excited for school to start again. I mean, parents as well. And so these are just a variety of people just saying, hey, this is great. I'm excited to be at school. And these are pictures from Eagle Creek, and that the bottom right says when I was a kid, those are staff members. So if you get a chance to go there, those are pictures of the staff member, the picture on it as a child. And so then they say things about themselves. So that was cool. And we did have, it's better now, thank goodness, but the air conditioning, we don't have air conditioning in that school, and there's parts of it that have it, but still, it doesn't work as well. And when we had the 90 degrees or 80 to 90 degrees last week, it was very warm. So they were all troopers, and thank you to our operational crew. They got fans out there, and it was warm. Glad the weather has changed a bit. Kip Prairie, I was out there, and Colleen and Bob, of course, excited. I was out in the back. My phone doesn't take very good pictures, and I had to figure that out, but they have it so well organized in the back. When everybody, all the kids come out, they know they have numbers in the shelter area, and the students know exactly where to go and sit down and wait for their bus. And then when everybody's kind of ready, they line them right up, and when you see that line, that's one of the line numbers, and they're voting on the bus. It's very organized. The first day when I was there, some students were, I look like I might know, but they said, oh, well, where's bus 25? And I'm going, bus 25, I can't find bus 25 number. And then I had to go to Bob, and then it was over in a corner without a number, but they just have it totally organized, and staff is wonderful. The kids are so excited to be there. Next is Pioneer, and you can see here everybody's excited, and this two students up at the top right, they brought in these two boxes of maple bars that were loaded with sprinkles on the top, and I thought they were bringing it for everybody there. It looked like it, but it was their birthday, but they were so excited to be there. And on the top left, it's hard to see, but they have these beautiful crayons, colorful, that says welcome, as you go into the office. We have presidents, and I happened to go there when those are in the middle, those are the kindergarten teachers, or at least some of the kindergarten teachers. Not all were there, one's not in the picture, but I caught them just during a break. They were celebrating Anne's birthday, and just during the midday. And then, of course, Jamie Miller, the principal's right underneath that Be Kind sign, and the office staff on the upper right. And then I like the fence art that they had. The picture at the bottom, that is Mayor Banning and Chief Ventura and myself giving high fives to students as they came off the bus at President's. The next one is still Squamish Valley Learning Center, and the Apple Cap. There wasn't any presence there because they started a little bit later. But what was happening at Squamish Learning Center is they have a connection with the families. The families were coming and meeting with the teachers, and I was just so impressed with the excitement there. Their bottom left is Bethany, that is their grounds person, that she's amazing. She was raking the gravel, and she also has a greenhouse, or has access to a greenhouse, or she has a greenhouse where she has planted cosmos. And when you go there, there's these huge, very tall, very colorful cosmos. And that one picture that you're wondering why I might have taken it, that's really supposed to be taking a picture of those cosmos in the upper right corner. And then, of course, there's their playground, and then their back to school sign is great. And their principal, Carrie Marsh, and a student. Haller Middle School, there, I just look at those shiny gym. I mean, that the students were in PE, they were down at the other end, they were doing some relays, but all of their backpacks were lined up. This is towards the end of the day, so they're ready to get going. But I was just first of all with the organization, but with the shiny gym floors. And in the middle, you have Joseph Green and you have Brooke Howell, who are they have these rolling desks. They decided this year they wanted to have these little rolling desks, so they're hard to see, but they're black, so that they can go around from room to room and have their laptops and things that they need. And right there, what they were doing is they were having students come who did not really know what bus to take at the end of the day. And so they were confirming the bus number. And then these pictures are as the buses were coming to pick up at that on the first day. Post, we have lots of students. We've got now Leslie Olson, the principal, was sharing with me the picture on the top right. She's got this new program that it's like a tier 1. I'm trying to remember what she calls those, but they're like caught you being good. It's a champion, you're a champion, or you're anybody can be nominated for that, and then they pull the names. I may not have the right term for that, but that's something that will help motivate all students. That's why we call it a tier 1, because it's something for all students, so it's a good thing. And this is a lot of good pictures of students learning in the classroom. Next one is at Weston, and this, it's such a welcoming place there, and kids were engaged in learning. They not only have the day program for Weston, but they have the transitions program, and I'm amazed at how robust that program is, how many opportunities that our students that are in the transition program have. And so it's a great place to be. And finally, we have Arlington High School. Everybody is excited. The admin team on the lower right, they had, except for Kyle, they had matching outfits. That was intentional. So they have their white jackets and skirts and such, and Kyle said he didn't get the message, but or something that I don't, he didn't see it. And then the upper right is Crystal. She's one of the security help there, and she was directing traffic, kids walking, and then and then that middle big picture is just the kind of, and I was gonna say congestion, the happy congestion that was taking place, but it was great. And then the office staff, I and Chris, just happy people to take care of our kids. That was a great start to a grand. So, yeah.
Do we have any questions about starting the new year report?
I will say we have numbers, but we needed to finalize a few things today. But I will say we're very, very close to our projection, just maybe a little bit over. But I want to wait till we get our numbers today to confirm that.
All right, next up is our informational items. That starts with our superintendent report. Right back at you again.
I know. Well, I was going to tell you about the grand opening that we had for the school year, and I want to thank everybody in the district. Everybody worked hard, and it was exciting to see people just happy to have students back, myself included. And then I was also going to talk about the riding the bus, but I did that. My last thing is that we've started our informational presentations for the Capital Levy for the Post. And so we've done 2 today, did a few last week, And so that'll be ongoing with all staff and also community, PTAs, all of the organizations that we can. So just, that's what, trying to get the word out there about the information about the capital levy on November 5th. That's it.
Right, thank you. Next up is our legislative update and discussion. Director Kelly.
Good evening. Not too many new things to add because unfortunately I've missed some of the ramp up meetings that Marissa has put together. They're at middle of the day type of thing, but she certainly is all who
Uh-oh. Is it us?
spreadsheet. So if you're able to look at that, if you want to just put, ditto, if you see some things that line up with what you have, it's very similar to past years, special education, having more counselors, mental health. I think but I'm letting you know that I'm giving you that choice, what you find to be priority for you. And I will take that information and I will have my General Assembly meeting. I believe that's September 20th. I'm not sure. I can't see a calendar. So if you are able to communicate between now and then, that would be great. Otherwise, I will kind of collect that information. We'll have conversation and I will certainly let you know what we collectively agree to then send to the legislature as probably our top 10 and put that together for January. It will be a long session this year, so that will be kind of exciting. So that's really it. Not too much. Yes.
You kind of cut out in the middle of your report. I'm so sorry. Can you
Oh.
tell us what we're supposed to be looking at and reviewing?
Okay. So Debbie sent an email and it's basically talks about the legislative priorities for our General Assembly. So what I'm asking you to do is to take a look at those many priorities. There's like over 100, I believe, and pare down what you would say your top 10 are, and then email those to me. And I will highlight, collectively what we agree on. And just know that that is Arlington's voice when it comes to General Assembly on September 20th.
Thank you for reiterating. Also, make sure everybody knows to email Chris or Debbie.
Sorry, that's right. And then it will get distributed to me. Yep. Apologize. Yep. Protocol. But that's all I have. And I'm looking forward to a robust discussion and hopefully we can continue to have impact with our legislators.
Thank you, Director Kelly. We appreciate your efforts and your enthusiasm and keeping us informed. Next up is our comments from our board members. I'd like to start with our student advisors. Nathan, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'd love to. Well, great start to the year. I'm glad to be back. I'm excited. There was a couple days there where I started to get that feeling of senioritis. And I'm like, oh, this is it. Kind of ready to graduate, to move on. That quickly was washed away. I think it was just the initial anxiety settling. But I'm now very, very excited to be back. I forget how much I miss seeing my friends and teachers and colleagues, going to Friday night football games. So there's a lot of exciting things. So I also would like to mention that I'm close friends with Mrs. Perigo at the high school. She's the graphic art teacher, and I have the opportunity to paint a wall in the high school. So I'm going to do some sort of mural and add a little bit of color to the high school, as well as painting some garbage cans, which we'll place around the school. So that's just one way I think I can make it a little bit more homey and less brick wall. So
That's great.
that's very exciting. It was really good to see Andrew, Mr. Keefe, sorry. That was great. It was a couple of years ago that I had her class, but I can testify. She's a wonderful teacher and the work that she does is genuine. So I'm grateful for her and all of the teachers that put in hours and hours of work, making sure the universal design learning actually works. But, yeah.
Thank you, Nathan, for sharing. Deja, what can you tell us about your experiences?
I'm just glad that school's back in. I really enjoy learning and being with my friends all the time. I love my teachers, and I think that that's like a really important part of school is being able to get along with teachers and stuff. And that's like my favorite part of school is communicating and learning from them, and just like all of the stuff is so fun to me. And I love seeing my friends every day. And I have a few classes with my friends, which is pretty exciting. And I'm taking 3 AP classes this year, so it's like it's kind of rough already. I've got 2 quizzes this week. It's only the second week of school, and my teachers are already like getting on it. It's kind of crazy. When everyone says that junior year is like gonna be the hardest year, you don't really like believe it fully. And then like second week of school, you have 2 quizzes, so it's. But I'm just really excited to be back. I really love school, and I love September. It's my favorite part of the school year. I think that, like Nathan said, like Friday night football, I love all of the school environment, the school spirit. It's my favorite part of everything.
Thank you for sharing. It's beautiful. Director Knapp, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I don't really have a lot to say, but congratulations on, that's very exciting, making the world a more beautiful place. And I also love school and teachers and classmates, not quizzes, but I enjoy hearing the kids' experiences as they're heading back into some large classes, that hoping, that'll all kind of settle down as the year goes, but yeah, that's pretty much it. No.
Thank you. Director Watts, would you like to share?
I was talking to Dr. Sweeting the other day about cross country and hosting a team dinner. Normally, I've done this for years and years and years. We almost ran out of food. This is our first one, so we invite families to come and join and participate and introduce those freshman families to the team, because it is such a family. There was over 140 people at our team dinner. We almost had a little panic that we we're gonna run out of noodles. But we didn't, and it was really fun to introduce them and bring them into the fold. There's 103 kids on that cross country team, which is, I think, the largest they've ever had, but especially, after COVID, seeing them get so involved, and 30 of which are seniors, so it's a lot. So I'm really excited. First meet is this Saturday, and I'll be out there cheering and giving them food.
Thank you for sharing. That's beautiful. Way to go, cross country. Director Diamond, do you want to share anything?
Sure. Longest first month of school. I am glad to be, I know, it's only been 4 days. But I am glad to be back. Going to district days was really fun. And kind of seeing everybody kind of coalesce around the schools. It was fun watching Gary operate the drone. Brought me joy. But yeah, no, I'm excited to be back and see how this year turns out. Kind of continue our work on the student advisory council. I'm pretty excited about that too. So.
Thank you. I don't have much to share other than that my kid made it to school on time and didn't complain about anything. And then when I came home from work today, I caught him doing homework without me asking him to do it. So it's a big deal. Advocating for himself and being responsible. At least he is today. So we're really excited. A lot of celebrations. So it's been great. Looking forward to the football game on Friday. And all those kids cheering each other on and working together as a team with band and the cheerleaders and all the football players, and just the happy, joyful community that gathers to Friday Night Lights. It's pretty great. I want to remind everybody about our next meetings. We've got a study session and our regular meeting coming up on September 23rd, and the study session starts at 4 p.m. up in the Lincoln Room, and the regular meeting starts at 6 o'clock in the boardroom. And if there's nothing else, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second. It's been moved by Director Knapp and seconded by Director Watt to adjourn. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond.
Yes.
Director Kelly.
Yes.
Director Watt.
Aye.
President Levesque. Yes. Director Knapp.